The caption reads here, when you realize Epstein is still alive and running the blackmail operation to this day. Yep, that's how a lot of people feel today. Absolutely jilted, disappointed, let down, as the child predators are still on the loose with your tax dollars aiding and protecting them with this current government, as Donald Trump decided to release a very interesting statement about the FBI today that does highlight the theory that we were talking about earlier today that probably is true with what is really going on here, as the psychological operations have already begun when it comes to try to, of course, obfuscate and to try to downplay everything that's happening right now, as there are some key telling moments, especially from the press secretary of the United States, when it comes to the statements regarding this particular matter, that really do highlight how this is stinkier than a lot of people believed it to be, as the copium is pretty high now, especially among some right-wing influencers, as we have some old video footage to really put in hindsight everything that you're seeing right now that absolutely deserves your attention more than ever. And if you appreciate us taking risks and exposing and talking about Epstein for many years on end now, whether it was a Republican or a Democrat, whatever corporate media outlet was attacking us, subscribe, click the notification button. We need your support now more than ever, as of course a lot of people want you to forget what we are going through, its ramifications, and just how seedy, destructive, and nasty this entire system is, to the point where now child predators are aided and abetted. There's a clip from Patel in 2023 specifically describing how the black book that was given out by the butler was in direct control by the director of the FBI, and how Trump should release it on day one, as it looks like he succumbed to a lot of the conspiracies at play here, as Donald Trump hasn't released any statement regarding all of this, except he did release one weird one on Truth Social complimenting the FBI, specifically Patel and Dan Bonino, who he says are going back to the basics, quote, locking up criminals, petty low-life criminals, people who filled out the paperwork incorrectly for their PPP loan during the coup times. Those guys, international child traffickers that hurt thousands of children, predators that are able to do unspeakable things to small babies, that have done them to hundreds and thousands of them. Yeah, those guys get the pass. Those guys, two-tier justice system, as Michael Flynn perfectly expressed. We're going to be reading his post here in just a little bit here. But this post here is confirming, essentially, in a circumstantial way, what we said earlier during the beginning of this. As soon as we saw this, as soon as this statement kind of was made by the DOJ, by the way, a statement made that wasn't signed by anyone. Don't you find that weird, that the DOJ released a statement talking about how Epstein wasn't running a blackmail operation, didn't have a client list, and absolutely did take himself out? It's funny how that statement wasn't presented with evidence, with proof. There was a video, and that video, for some reason, also had a minute missing from it. Just another coincidence there. Yeah, believe the government no matter what, says the government. No, thank you. I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm done with believing government forever, I think now. And again, I feel partly bamboozled here, and I have my personal responsibilities that I feel that I played a role in, and I feel horrible for it because, again, I wanted this to be true. I really wanted, this has been an issue core to my heart, but again, they bamboozled us in such a level that is just disgusting. And what I said earlier was that, listen, Dan Bonino and Patel were approached by higher-ups, higher than they are, probably Donald Trump here, and they said, listen, you got to fall on this sword. You got to take this one for the team. Are you team MAGA? Are you with us? Are you with the MAGAs? Or are you with everyone else outside of us? Are you in our club? Are you going to be in our club here? You need to do this for us. You need to destroy and soil your reputation. And you can see this is reputation damage control that's being initiated by Donald Trump saying these guys are doing great. They're the greatest law enforcement professionals in the world. They're actively working to protect child predators right now. No, I'm sorry, they're not. They're not. You're not keeping America safe. There's predators out there still hurting small children because of your administration and your Department of Justice that clearly lied, contradicted themselves, gave off conflicting statements that don't add up to each other, told us that there's going to be disclosures, told us we're going through phase one, told us we're just redacting it for the victims, and then told us there's nothing to redact. We have no documents. The case is closed. No more documents will be revealed to you. Everything is just hunky-dory. It's not, as there are now multiple. Again, it doesn't take a genius to figure out what's really going on here. Very powerful predators out there, okay? Monsters of this earth, still walking scot-free because of Donald Trump, his administration, that is playing along with it. And there's no hiding it, okay? There's no denying it. I know a lot of people are trying to give off plausible deniability. No longer can you give it plausible deniability. There's no plausible deniability. Now, before talking about this really eye-opening Kash Patel clip and talking about the psychological operation at play here, I'm going to make a separate video about Ben Shapiro, by the way, who believes the official version of events. Yes, unironically, he believes the official. Before talking about that, we need to pay the bills around here. We lost a lot of our money last year. We started another company to help us make money. And that company is, of course, wearechange.shop. And we have a lot of great supplements available to you, as we have things like ashwagandha. Ashwagandha are really great. We also have a bunch of fish oils. And I like the fish oils. I actually brought some fish oils with me. I'm looking for my vitamin bag here. I have it somewhere. But I made sure to travel with some fish oils. Fish oils are really great for your heart, really great for your brain. I took a number of blood tests a couple months ago, and the doctor's like, you should check out some fish oils there. As of course, having a good balanced diet is key. And it's sometimes very difficult to get clean fish. A lot of the fish are filled with mercury and heavy metals and all these other toxins in it and parasites. And, sadly, our environment is just being damaged incredibly by, some of the predators out there in our society that are still running loose and diddling children with the help of the FBI that played along and ran this operation for a while, ignoring the victims for a while. Since the 1990s, they're still doing it now. But listen, there's sardines. You could get your fish oils from sardines by eating individual sardines, especially if they're sourced from a good place. And then you're able to avoid a lot of the toxins and heavy metals and mercuries and all this other stuff that usually the big fish have. We sourced our fish oils from sardines and small fish to make sure that there's no toxicity. Now, as a Slavic person living near the Baltic Sea, my people, my heritage, my genetic kind of lineage is centered towards eating a lot of fish. I thrive off of eating a lot of fish. And, so do like the Eskimo people. And listen, I'm particular about how I eat my food, and I just don't want the toxins, so I just take some fish oils. And I have noticed a big significant health benefit to my heart personally, and my blood tests came back really positive. Especially after taking some fish oils, and that's why I've taken my fish oils. I give this to my family. I have a family member that still smokes. I don't recommend doing that. Try to quit as best as you can. There's some very interesting studies with people who do smoke that take fish oils that are really fascinating. Look up those studies. And fish oils are just great overall in general, in my opinion. You could buy them from Amazon. You could buy fake fish oils from Amazon filled with seed oils, or you could buy our fish oils and support this independent media organization. The choice is yours. Wearechange.shop. Link is down in the description below. Now, Dan Bongino actually responded to this. Now, this is the eye-opening thing, because this is the first thing that you say here, because they're all looking at the comments, and they're all seeing that they're being absolutely dunked on and destroyed, right? And then we see a lot of people respond here. The lectern guy says, he had a very kind of big statement here saying specifically, I don't say this lightly, and I know it'll cost me quite a bit, but I've been drinking and I had some time to reflect on this whole kid predators are cool with us movement in the new FBI, and I decided that y'all are a bunch of weak lady parts. Family-friendly edition of that. Riri Finder says, B, you let up. Hodge twins. Dan, we need answers on the Epstein stuff, bro. Can't let Bondi off the hook for lying to everybody. Now, again, who made that statement? We don't know if it's even Bondi. It's probably a joint session. As of course, there's a poll here. Do you still trust Dan Bongino to do the job? 11% said yes, overwhelmingly. 88.2% no. Everyone is going to ask about the Epstein stuff. Yeah. Why is Donald Trump congratulating and saying these guys are great at the FBI when they're just a part of the biggest criminal cover-up of our time, of the biggest, nastiest, most destructive, evil people on the face of this earth? Well, again, my theory, I think, is true here. And that theory is that specifically Trump came to them and said, look, I have a lot of extortion power with this Epstein client list. I'm going to keep using it for my own personal benefit, which in my opinion is evil. All right? And then we saw Patrick Bet-David make a very similar claim. And I'm like, and he's saying, no, Trump's doing the art of the deal here. He knows that he's able to, of course, wheel and deal now and do some great things with this. And I'm like, so you're saying that he should allow predators to continue to abuse and hurt children? That's what you're saying for political power. That's what you're saying, right? That's what you're saying? Really? I responded to that saying, really? Really? Is that what you're saying? As of course, this meme here by Machiavellian Memes, he does a great job. I got to retweet this. You got to give credit to where credit's due here. And this image right here of Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi here with the CIA and the FBI Fed boy consoling the MAGA by saying no Epstein list. And he took his whole life. Yeah, sure, yeah. Tell us whatever to believe here. We'll believe it. As clearly, Bobby Sauce here, I like Bobby, he says, how about you single down on the thing you've been talking about for 5 years? Yeah, how about that? That's of course his response here is, we are doubling down, not letting up. How about you finish the job that you promised you were going to do here, okay? Like Dan Bongino literally is on record talking about how he has friends that weren't on the airplane, and they talked about how there was a horrible, evil things going on. He talks about how we had Clinton on that airplane. Clinton did the Secret Service. Clinton was a dirty dog. He was a pervy old man. And you have a chance to take out the Clintons that are attacking you viciously, but you don't? Why? Well, there's probably some wheeling and dealing right now. And Trump's like, yeah, I have the Ring of Sauron. I'm going to be Schmeagol now. I'm not going to throw it into the fire. I want all that political power for myself. That is most likely what's going on here. But there's, of course, a lot of people trying to cope. Like we see these, quote, MAGA and pro-American people essentially saying the same thing. And you see this with a lot of the bot comments saying, stop talking about the Epstein list. We saw one mega influencer lady. And again, the ladies are just easily bought off here because that's usually how they run their own private lives anyway. She came out and said, you guys didn't care about Andrew Tate. Because you don't care about Andrew Tate, this doesn't matter. What? Tell me you're a shill without telling me you're a shill for the child predators out there. Like, it makes no sense at all. Like, the takes here are just ridiculous, and everyone is just laughing them off. This is an attempt to try to obfuscate here the bigger demand of justice for thousands of children here. And it's just not going to fly. It is not going to fly. It is not going to work. And people are saying the same thing. I'm so sick of talking about the Epstein list. I'm sitting over it for a decade now. And again, you got this other Mega Michelle. I'm so sick of hearing about the Epstein. I'm only going to say it about, and I'm done. I'm literally going to mute the world Epstein so I don't say it anymore. Yeah. Idiots. Like, yeah, I'm sorry. This is the story of the decade, right? And this is a story that very, very powerful people want to go away. I mean, Larry Summers, he's acting like there's no issues at all. He's willing to nail. The former Prime Minister of Israel, he's hanging out here. Bill Gates, right? All these individuals. Bill Clinton going on vacation, hanging out here, having fun. These people should be sweating bullets. All these other billionaires, the LinkedIn founder, my goodness, golly gracious, the whole army of sociopaths out there that are known for hurting small children. And you are making a deal with the devil by saying, give us more power. continue to hurt children. That is just disrespectful. Michael Flynn, who has been the biggest kind of Trump apologist for bombing Iran, by the way. If you think the bombing of Iran is not linked to this, if you think the Dan Bonino, Patel not finding anything out about the Trump assassins and blaming it on Iran like Trump and Bibi did, has nothing to do with what's happening right now, you're not really paying attention. There's a lot of interconnected dots here, in my own personal opinion. But Michael Flynn, again, who's been a man who went to jail for Donald Trump, okay? There's a lot of people like Owen Schroyer who went to jail for Donald Trump. Roger Stone. All these other individuals that I personally know. I know Michael Flynn, too. I disagree with some of his opinions here, but he says this as respectfully as he can. And he says, quote, "I have a lot of respect for anyone who stands up to serve our nation, but when one does, you need to remember it is American people you work for." Yeah. That's a good point. This Epstein affair is not going away. It is not. It is not. It never will. And he says, "And an early lesson learned for everyone regarding this affair, elites don't give a ish about children. You or anyone for that matter. There are two standards of justice in our country. One for the elites, I include the uniparty in this club, and another standard for everyone else. Today was another brutal and stark example of the two different standards we appear to adhere to in the United States. This has to change, and it has to change quickly." Specifically saying Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Yeah, 110%. Michael Schellenberger, this is a total effing disaster. A senior person in the intelligence community told us today in response to our question about the Justice Department cover-up of the Epstein files. This is so disgusting. I mean, these monsters out there, J.D. Vance, what possible interest would the U.S. government have in keeping the Epstein's client secret? Oh, yeah, why don't you tell us, J.D. Vance? Why don't you ask Palantir? Why don't you ask your buddy, who, of course, receives a lot of money from Mr. Epstein? That's interesting here. As a former CIA official, Kiriakou, who, by the way, went to jail because he whistleblowed on some things that were happening at the CIA, says that, the files are destroyed here. There was also a stunning moment with the White House spokesperson, by the way, that had to kind of lie about everything that was going on here, as people are now making memes about her. She wasn't wearing the cross today. I think I've seen her wear the cross almost every time I've seen her, but she wasn't wearing the cross today, as she was lying and shilling and covering up the Jeffrey Epstein saga. Very interesting turn of events here. And then, of course, we have this crazy clip from 2023. And this is important to understand here because this now points a light into the cover-up that we're all a part of, that all these people are a part of.
Who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book.
FBI.
But who? That is, I mean, there's...
Oh, that's under direct control of the director of the FBI. Just like the manifesto from the Nashville school shooting of the Catholic school.
Yeah.
We still haven't seen that, right?
Oh, yeah, that event, yeah,
It's not the Nashville police or PD saying we don't want this out. The FBI airmailed into that operation and said, this is not getting out. Because they do that because this is another government gangster operation. All these local law enforcement communities get funding from the DOJ and FBI for local programs. And if you don't cooperate, you're not getting your $1 million for this, and you're not getting and that's a lot of money to these local districts. That's how they play the game. That's why you don't have a Black Book or the manifesto.
But the Black Book, it's not just sitting, I mean, that's Hoover power times 10.
Yep. That's why Donald Trump's holding on to it and using it as political leverage. And some people are cheering it on. Be like, yeah, you hurt those children. Let's go get them at the foster. That's literally what they're saying. They're saying, let's go to the foster. Let's go to the orphanage. Let's get more of them. Let's get more of these children. Here, Bill, do whatever you want to them. Let's hurt more children. We get power. Yay, yeah. You disgusting, satanic, Luciferian, freaking thugs, punks. Disgusting, vile pieces of trash. All of you, saying, this is good, we have power, you're gonna make deals. Disgusting. I wanna say other things. Family-friendly show here, pathetic, disgusting, horrible monsters. They're going to hell. They're going to hell for this, okay? And they have a huge, you can see them. They look tortured for a reason, okay? All of the people inside of the White House, tortured.
And to me, that's a thing I think President Trump should run on. On day one, roll out the black book. And not just that. On day one, roll out all of the text messaging communications we were told were deleted. On day one, play the rest of the video of the pipe bomber. On day, one of the reforms I talk about in Government Gangsters is you need a central node to be continuously declassifying. This is another thing they do.
He actually said, Luke, you're going to be the declassifier. Luke, I want you to declassify everything with me. I never got the call. I wonder why. It was probably a Palantir assessment saying that I wouldn't bow down. Saying the Palantir. Yeah, this one can't be bought. Disgusting.
Overclassify. And I'm telling you, as a former number 2 in the IC, they overclassify 50% of the stuff there to protect the deep state. Oh, no, you can't see that. Nothing to see here. Gina was a master at it, of doing it. And
the new FBI is too.
And we still haven't seen half of the Russiagate report that we wrote. Still under lock and key. On how the ICA was originally constructed. We put 10,000 man-hours against John Brennan's team that did it. And we found out why they came up with their bogus conclusions. But we couldn't sell it to the world because we couldn't talk about it, and the government gangsters came in and buried it. All of these things, there needs to be a continuing central power, whether it's the White House or offsite, that says every request that comes in, just right out the door, as long as it's not a major threat to national security.
Yeah.
Who had?
Listen, this is sickening. Wake up. At least get some good fish oils in your life. Other than that, pray for this country. Pray for moral decency. Pray for courage and strength for people to do the right thing and actually stop these monsters out there. Otherwise, we're kind of left on our own here. The next video I'm going to do is specifically talking about how Ben Shapiro's really happy with all this. And yeah, the official story of events totally makes sense here. Yeah. Go foreign countries that hijack our government. Yeah. Sick, disgusting people. Subscribe. YouTube.com/WeAreChange.